ever wondered how your computer understands the operations you want it to perform? In the vast world of programming, operators are the unsung heroes that make this possible. They're the symbols that represent computations, operations on variables and values. Think of them as the conductors of an orchestra, guiding and controlling how each element interacts and behaves. Imagine you're baking a cake. You have all your ingredients. These are your variables. The recipe you're following is the program. The steps you take, like mixing the eggs with the flour or melting the chocolate, these are the operations, the tasks that the operators help to carry out. Operators come in various forms and functions, from the simple arithmetic ones like addition and subtraction, to the more complex logical and relational ones. Each has a unique role in the grand scheme of the program. Operators are like the grammar of programming languages, helping your computer understand what you want it to do. First off, let's dive into arithmetic operators. They are the backbone of any calculation you'll do in your code. Let's start with the simplest ones, addition and subtraction. The plus sign is used for addition and the minus sign for subtraction. Pretty straightforward, right? Next, we have the multiplication operator, represented by an asterisk. This operator multiplies two numbers together. If you have two variables, say a equals 5 and b equals 3, a multiplied by b would give you 15. The division operator is denoted by a /. It divides one number by another. So if a is 10 and b is 2, a divided by b would result in 5. Now it's time for a special one, the modulo operator, represented by the percentage sign. This operator returns the remainder of a division operation. For instance, if a is 10 and b is 3, a modulo b would return 1, because 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1. These basic operators are often used together in larger expressions. But beware, they don't necessarily execute from left to right. They follow the rules of operator precedence, which we'll discuss in more detail later. For now, just know that multiplication and division have higher precedence than addition and subtraction. So in an expression like a plus b times c, the multiplication happens first. One last point to remember. These operators are not just for numbers. Some of them can be used with other types of data too. For example, the plus operator can be used to concatenate or join together two strings. If a is hello and b is world, a plus b would give you hello world. So there you have it. These basic arithmetic operators are the building blocks of many complex operations in programming. They allow you to perform calculations, manipulate data, and make your code more dynamic and interactive. Next up, we'll explore comparison and logical operators, so stay tuned. Moving on to comparison and logical operators. In the realm of programming, comparison operators, as the name suggests, allow you to compare two values. We have 6 main types of comparison operators. Equal to, represented as a double equal sign, checks if two values are the same. Not equal to, represented by an exclamation mark followed by an equal sign, checks if two values are different. Less than and greater than, represented by the symbols less than and greater than respectively, compare the size of values. Less than or equal to and greater than or equal to, represented by less than or greater than symbol followed by an equal sign, do the same but also consider equality. Now, these comparison operators are often used in conjunction with logical operators to control the flow of a program. Logical operators are used to combine multiple conditions. We have 3 primary logical operators. The logical AND, represented by a double ampersand, returns true if both conditions being compared are true. The logical OR, denoted by double vertical bars, returns true if at least one of the conditions is true. And then we have the logical NOT, represented by an exclamation mark, which simply inverts the truth value of the condition it precedes. For instance, if you're writing a program for a coffee shop, you might use comparison and logical operators to check if a customer's order is ready. You would compare the current time to the expected ready time and check if the barista has marked the order as completed. If both conditions are true, the order is ready. In a nutshell, Comparison and logical operators are essential tools in a programmer's toolkit. They allow you to evaluate different conditions and make decisions based on those evaluations. So, the next time you're writing a program, remember these operators and use them to make your code more dynamic and responsive. These operators enable your programs to evaluate conditions and make decisions. Scene script. Next, we'll discuss assignment and other miscellaneous operators. Let's begin with assignment operators, a group of operators that assign a value to a variable. The most basic assignment operator is the equal sign, which assigns the value on its right to the variable on its left. Quite straightforward, isn't it? But we also have compound assignment operators such as plus equal sign, asterisk equal sign, slash equal sign that perform an operation and assignment in one step. For instance, if we write x plus equal sign y, it's the same as writing x equal sign x plus y. Following that, we have the increment, plus plus, and decrement operators. These operators increase or decrease a variable's value by 1. X plus plus or plus plus x increments the value of x by 1, while x or x decreases it by 1. The difference between x plus plus and plus plus x is the order of the operation and assignment. X plus plus first assigns the value and then increments it, while plus plus x increments the value first and then assigns it. Next, let's navigate the world of bitwise operators. These operators work on the bit level, meaning they manipulate the individual bits of a number. The bitwise and Oregon, XOR, circumflex, not tilde, left shift operators. These operators are used to access members of objects or structures. The dot operator accesses a member directly, while the arrow operator accesses a member through a pointer. These operators allow you to manipulate values, control bits, and access members of objects or structures. Now let's talk about operator precedence. Operator precedence is like a set of rules in a board game. It defines the order in which operators are evaluated when an expression is processed. Just like in a game where certain moves or plays have priority, in programming, some operators take precedence over others. Think of it as a dinner party, and operators are your guests. Some guests, like your best friend or your significant other, have a higher precedence. They get served first. Other guests, like your distant cousin or that friend who always shows up uninvited, have lower precedence. They get served last. The same principle applies to operators. Some, like postfix operators, such as increment and decrement, are like your best friends. They have the highest precedence and are evaluated first in an expression. Unary operators, like positive, negative, and logical not, are also high on the pecking order. They're like your close family members. They get evaluated right after the postfix operators. Then come the multiplicative operators, the additive operators, and the shift operators. They're like your good friends and acquaintances. They get their turn next. Relational, equality, and bitwise operators are like your colleagues and neighbors. They're evaluated afterwards. Logical and logical or operators are like the distant relatives. They're near the end of the line. The conditional operator, assignment operators, and the comma operator are like the uninvited guests. They have the lowest precedence and are evaluated last. So, in an expression like a plus b asterisk c, the multiplication has higher precedence, so it's evaluated before the addition. It's like your best friend getting served before your distant cousin at the dinner party. Understanding operator precedence is crucial for writing expressions that produce the intended results. It's like knowing the rules of the game or the etiquette of a dinner party. If you get the order wrong, things can get messy. But don't worry, if you need to change the order of operations, you can use parentheses, just like you can change seating arrangements at a party. Understanding operator precedence is crucial for writing expressions that produce the intended results. So, to wrap it all up, we've embarked on a journey through the world of operators and precedence. It's a landscape filled with arithmetic, comparison, and logical operators, each with a unique role to play in your programming endeavors. We've touched on the importance of assignment and other operators, and how they act as the building blocks of your code. We also dove deep into the concept of operator precedence, a crucial rulebook that determines the order in which your operations are evaluated. This is an essential concept to grasp, as it can significantly influence the outcome of your expressions. And let's not forget about the power of parentheses. They can explicitly define the order of evaluation when needed, ensuring your code does precisely what you intended. Remember, operators are the language your computer understands. Master them, and you'll be able to communicate with your computer more effectively.